what is your actual identity? How do we define ourselves as a person? Is it our emotions, our feelings, our self-talks?
Yeah.
What is our me as a
Yeah,
better example?
that's a really great question. It's one that's perplexed philosophy and all the sciences for a long time. I'm not proposing to have the answer to that question, by the way. I'm proposing to have a particular angle on it that might make a difference for people. But as far as neuroscience is concerned and your brain's concerned, there's no locus of you in your brain. So that is, there's no place in your brain where Ian is. So Ian doesn't exist as a phenomenon. There's just what Ian does exist in terms of brain patterns. So there's no like little glowing lizard of Ian in the middle of your frontal cortex or whatever the hell. And that's not there. Then what is Ian, or what is Gary or anybody listening to this call? Well, apart from the skin and bones, and that's when people tell me, like, there's something inside me. I'm like, yeah, it's similar to the stuff you'll find in a butcher's shop. That's all. There's nothing going on inside you that you won't find, on the refrigerated section of Asda. It's just meat and bones. The thing is, though, there is something happening with you. There's something unique happening where you are. So the first thing I want people to get is you're not your body. Your body isn't you. In fact, you can chop bits of your body off and you continue to exist. The only thing we haven't worked out how to do yet is chop your brain off and have you exist, but we're at work on that. So then where do I locate myself? Where do I find my identity, if you like? Well, my particular field of interest, if you like, not expertise, it's interest, is a couple of philosophical domains. One is called ontology, 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 which is just basically the study of being. And you're a human being. It's not the study of being like some kind of nebulous, state. It's being like a definitive kind of being. So then what is being? Being can be described as a way that you think, a way that you act, and a way that you feel. All of those in combination would be a way that you be. And if you get down to it with a human being, you'll find that they have a very definitive range of beingness. It's very definitive. It's very predictable. And they, as an identity, can be described in terms of those ways of being. So I might be being analytical. If you're someone who is analytical, you'll find you're analytical all the time. You're analytical when you're standing, putting petrol in your car. You're analytical when you go to work. You're analytical when you're talking to your wife, or you're talking to your boyfriend, or you're analytical. And there's some other components there, but being analytical might be foundational for you. Other people would say, I'm not so much analytical, but they might be hardworking, like being hardworking. That is, they speak, act, and experience themselves in terms of that hard work. So there's a range of being that you are. And the most important part of that, for me anyway, is those ways of being rise and fall. And they rise and fall in the dialogues that you're having with yourself and with other people. So to tie a nice little bow on all of this, you're nothing more than a habitual conversation about yourself and life. And that's your life experience right there in that dialogue. And if you want to live a different life, you got to start getting aware of that dialogue. You got to start interrupting that dialogue. And you got to start shaping and creating some other kind of dialogue that might be in alignment with the life you really want.